Welcome to Cord Cutting Today, where we break down some of the biggest stories happening in the world of cord cutting and give you my opinion on them. Stories like the top 10 channels are most likely to shut down according to our team. We got some of the best Prime Day deals for cord cutters are still out there. Today's the last day of the Fall Big Deals Day, their Fall Prime Day event, so check that out. And Disney is reportedly going to have a new bundle for Hulu and Disney Plus. We'll talk about what we know here and a whole lot more in a minute. First, hey, stay to the end. I'll have another cord cutting Q&A with everybody here. We're taking questions from the comments down below and answering them every day in our Cord Cutting Today at the end, so check that out. Also, if you want to find out more about these stories, read about them for yourself, check out the show notes down below and in the first pinned comment. I'll put a link to each story I talk about there, so you can read about them for yourself and come up with your own opinions. If you're new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up. It really does help us because it lets YouTube know you enjoy what we do here. So YouTube recommends our videos to more people, helping us grow and hopefully helping you break free from the high cost of TV and still watch what you enjoy. All right. Late last week, S&P Global Marketing Intelligence released 30 channels they thought were most likely to shut down going forward. These are cable networks that are most vulnerable to cord cutting and most vulnerable to shut down first. Within the team here, we agreed with a lot of what they said, but we had some different opinions. So we picked out our top 10 channels we believe would be most likely to shut down, and we created a list. So here we go, in quick order, from our experience covering cord cutting and television for over 10 years now. Here it goes. Freeform, number one. Disney's kind of lost its focus channel a little bit here. It was originally a family channel. Now it's kind of a young teen, 20-something channel. Now it's kind of turned back into a family-friendly channel. But Freeform was recently dropped from Spectrum, and it is our number one channel most likely to shut down as Disney moves more content to Disney Plus. Universal Kids. Go notice a lot of kid channels on this list. Increasingly, kid channels are being hardest hit as kids are now going to things like Disney Plus, YouTube, and more rather than cable. I have seen multiple reports that say channels like Cartoon Network actually's average age of their audience is 18 and up. And that's why we've seen things like Adult Swim's block get larger to attract that audience, and them doing earlier with classic Cartoon Network shows, which targets people more in the 30s and 40s who think back fondly in the early days of Cartoon Network from maybe the 1990s and 2000s and more. So Universal Kids falling victim to the fact that kids are increasingly not watching TV. FXX, similarly dropped by Spectrum. These smaller sub-channels, the secondary channels, as content's being focused more on streaming, are going to suffer more. I expect that to be impacted there. Disney Junior also dropped, same issue here. Increasingly, more and more kids are going to Disney Plus, YouTube, and more. BBC America. AMC is really struggling to find a backing for their streaming service, so I could very well see them coming back in cable networks. BBC America could be one of the ones on the cutting board. Boomerang. Now this one I put here mostly because Warner Bros. Discovery is increasingly focusing on Max, and it could very well see Boomerang trying to roll its content into Max rather than having a standalone channel, allowing them to shut it down. The Science Channel, much like Boomerang, we have Discovery Plus. A lot of that content is going there. Want to focus on that, want to focus on Max. Why have the Discovery Channel? All right, now the next one up, number 8, is a conglomerate of cable networks. It's all the smaller MTV channels, MTV Classic, MTV2, and other MTV channels like that. There's just more of them than the market can sustain. Question is, which one of those would be most likely to shut down? Leave me a comment, you let me know. Nickelodeon, same issue. Paramount Plus is where a lot of this content's going. They want to push Paramount Plus. Will not surprise me at all to see Nickelodeon bite the dust in the future. And lastly, BET Her, BET Hip Hop, BET Soul, and more. All those BET channels are the sub-channels. Paramount tried to sell BET earlier this year, didn't get the price they wanted. Now that they're deciding to keep it, the question is, will they keep all these smaller channels here? They also have VH1 rolled in underneath that, though I would expect VH1 would probably not be the first to shut down. So there's our top 10 most likely channels to shut down. You leave a comment, let me know what you think. I'd love to hear from you. All right, some quick Prime Day deals. Again, today's the last day of Prime Day if you're watching this on October 11th. There's some great antenna deals from Antennas Direct and Mohu. Link in the show notes for that. There are also really good streaming player deals, including the NVIDIA Shield, which doesn't often go on sale, both the Pro and Standard. Check it out. Fire TVs are on sale. Roku TVs are on sale. Full list in the show notes and in the first pinned comment if you're looking for deals there. If you've been thinking about just getting a backup streaming player, maybe you want, there's some Fire TVs under $20 with the Lite and the Standard HD. If you ever have those $20 gift games where you pass things around, Fire TV can make a good one, a Roku, and more, so check that out. All right, let's keep moving along. Disney is reportedly still in talks to sell part of ESPN to the NBA and NFL. That was reported back in June. Now, the Wall Street Journal says those talks are still happening, but are still in the early phase as Disney gets ready to launch a direct-to-consumer option for ESPN streaming online. Now, we'll see how this all plays out, but reportedly the deal that they're looking to strike with these leagues is to give the leagues a minority stake in the companies, so they'll have part ownership, but a small part ownership of ESPN, and in exchange for that part ownership of ESPN, they'll put some of their content on ESPN. And this could include NBA League Pass being folded in, NFL Network, and NFL Plus, for example, all being folded into this in exchange for partial ownership. Disney's also reportedly talking to MLB about some of the regional sports networks are in trouble, maybe offering that content through ESPN locally only in those markets for the regional sports. Not sure if that's streaming or broadcast. We'll have to figure that out. But not sure also if that would include ownership with MLB. The Wall Street Journal is very clear. This is early stages. Anything could happen. These deals could fall apart, but they are still continuing talks there as Disney says they're looking for partners that could help bring them content. Well, these major sports leagues could sure do that. Next up, Disney also, in the Wall Street Journal being reported, is planning to launch a new Hulu and Disney Plus bundle in March of 2024. Was hoping to launch it this year when they merged the Hulu app into the Disney Plus app. That apparently, due to technical reasons and others, is being delayed until March of next year. They do still plan by the end of this year, though no one has said when, to merge Hulu and Disney Plus into a single app. Now, there will still be separate services at that point. You would still need to subscribe to both, but you'd access them through one app. You've already seen some of this. For example, ESPN Plus content is available directly through Hulu. Now you would see that directly into the Disney one. What is this bundle? That's the big question. They already have bundles of Hulu and Disney Plus. I wonder, though, if this is going to be a bundle, maybe with some live TV channels. Could they be doing speculation? Speculation alert, folks. Speculation. This is my opinion. Could they be doing something here that says, hey, we're going to give you a handful of live Disney-owned channels through Disney Plus and Hulu if you bundle here? Smaller packages than the big $70-some Hulu Plus Live TV bundle? I don't know. We're going to keep a close eye on this, but Disney is reportedly doing that according to the Wall Street Journal. Leave me a comment. What kind of special bundle could Hulu and Disney be doing that they're going to launch in March? All right. Hey, people are going to say this isn't core current related, but there's a growing number of people trying to steal accounts to streaming services to resell them. So pay attention to this. If your information has been exposed in a data breach, if your passwords, credit cards, and more have been exposed, Roger came up with a great post on some steps to protect yourself after that has happened, what you should do. Take this seriously. Increasingly, data breaches are becoming more and more common. You're not going to be able to hide from these. So I highly recommend you take a moment to read over this. Read over the things, password managers, credit monitors, identity protection. And more importantly, not reusing passwords, especially passwords to places like anything you pay for, streaming, to your bank, and more should never be reused. So check that out. Link in the show notes down below if you're looking for details. Roger did a very good job at that. But again, increasingly we are seeing people trying to steal passwords or logins for streaming services so they can resell them online, and suddenly somebody else is using your account, changing your password, locking you out. Keep that in mind. All right, some updates on free services. Local now added 4 new channels, including USA Today, USA Today Sports, and more. Bunch of them. They now have hundreds of live channels on Local Now. Check that out. Amazon's Freevee service announced that they're adding a bunch of BBC Studio channels. 5 new channels exclusively on Amazon Freevee from BBC Studios include BBC Sci-Fi, BBC Game Shows, so a bunch of British game shows with this deal, and a ton of BBC content with this. BBC Travel, Silent Witness, New Tricks, and more are all going live on Amazon Freevee exclusively there. That's one of the complaints sometimes people be. A lot of these free services have similar content, but they all have kind of their own exclusive deals. Check that out. Speaking of free content, Barney, Garfield and Friends, and other kid shows will be launching on YouTube. They're going to be bringing some of these classic shows for free from a company called 9 Story Media. Announced that they're launching a new YouTube channel hub to offer all of these classic shows free on YouTube. Anybody here grew up with some of these? I remember very fondly Garfield and Friends growing up. But you can now check those out on on YouTube, without having to pay for it. So check that out. Link in the show notes if you want to learn more. Well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, let me know. But let's not forget about the question of the day. I almost forgot. I'm so used to not doing it. So question of the day, oh, there we go. From NYC says, with artisans failing apart in small markets with teams going direct to consumer and over the air with antennas, do you see larger markets doing that? Yes, but it could be one of those things that they could be just down the road. Of course, Bally Sports and other artisans want to keep the most profitable ones. The most profitable ones are in markets with the biggest viewership. The markets with the biggest viewership are things like New York, Chicago, Orlando, Tampa Bay, etc. are all major markets where they're going to want to hold on to it. Do I think eventually that these will move on? Yeah, we're already hearing reports that a lot of NBA teams and AHL teams have already negotiated backup plans if their RSN goes under. These are plans that say, hey, we are currently under contract, but if anything would happen, wink, wink, nod, nod, we'll strike a deal with you. So I fully expect that to happen maybe sooner. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next year or two, one or two major networks or major markets will switch over there. Now the question here is, will Bally Sports be here in a year or two? We're going to wait and see on that. Well, that's it for today. I hope you have a fantastic day. I'll be back again tomorrow. Take care, everybody.